सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमु रामाय तस्मै नमः। रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम्। रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 We will see the last verse. We will chant the last verse of 11th chapter and then the first verse of 12th chapter. मत्कर्म कृन्मत्परमः मद्भक्तः सङ्गवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पाण्डव। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ताये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। Bhagavan completed 11th chapter by telling Arjuna 5 things that a person can do while living in this world. 3 things were techniques or methods of connecting with Bhagavan, and 2 of them were how to relate with the world. Mat karma krit was the first instruction. Bhagavan said, Arjuna, we don't have a choice whether or not to act. No matter who that person is, wherever we are, we will have to do some action. But we have full choice over for whom we are acting. And Bhagavan's advice to us is, no action should be done for our own sake. He says, do everything for my sake. Mat karma krit. Selfless actions, actions which are devoted to Bhagavan. He is not indicating which action we should do. He's saying doesn't matter. Whatever actions we are doing, those should be offered unto me. Second, he said, Mat Paramaha. In our life, in our vision, having Bhagwan alone as the supreme. Bhagwan alone as a supreme most altar, one who is very powerful. He says that buddhi we should have. Means not looking upon Bhagwan as another jiva. Not looking upon Bhagwan as another person. That is the Mat Paramaha part. Third one was Mad Bhaktaha. This devotee not only works for God, considers God as supreme, but also loves Bhagwan. So 3 indicators of how to connect with Bhagwan. What about world? Bhagwan's first instruction to Arjuna is Sangha Varjitaha. wherever we are, whatever we are doing, not getting attached to anything. In Kathopanishad it is said, Shreya and Preyah, they always come mixed up. If it was two distinct things distinctly available, you could choose one over the other. What is the definition of Preyah? Whatever strengthens our Ahamkara, that is Preyah. And what is Shreya? Whatever negates Ahamkara and helps us abide in our own true self, that is Shreya. So, Kathopanishad Rishi says, both these paths will come to us mixed up. Means it could be a very noble thing. It could be a very good thing. But unknowingly, if Sangha comes there, attachment comes there, even in that good thing, we have switched from Shreya to Preya. So Bhagavan is telling here, Sangha Varjitaha, not having any attachments. Then Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu, not having any enmity towards all beings. Bhagavan says this is the culmination of bhakti. Because what is the culmination of this chapter? Vishwarupa Darshan. Vishwarupa Darshan means he sees the whole universe in the Lord. So there is nothing in this world which he is seeing independent of his Bhagavan. There is nothing in this world that he is seeing independent of Bhagavan. The moment you see your Ishta somewhere, Vaira Bhava cannot come. But the critical word here is Sarva Bhuteshu. Kinchit Bhuteshu is okay. Kinchit Bhuteshu means few people we can have Nirvairata. But mentally to have acceptance for everybody, that is the insignia of a devotee. Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu. There was one question. In this world, there are so many different types of people. Even if you look at the social scenario, so many dictators have been there who have done so much of chaos in the world. So the question was, how do you practice Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu towards everybody? Vedanta is something which lifts us above our conditionings. Whatever goodness, whatever limitations are part of mind. But even in that person who is having all these negativities probably caused a lot of chaos as far as world is concerned. But that divinity is still there, hidden. So whenever this person looks upon even such an individual, when a devotee looks upon such an individual, his vision is still on that divinity. Remember, his vyavahara will not be the same. Transaction will not be the same with everybody. But his vision is same for everybody. There is a difference. Samadarshanam is as far as the divinity is concerned. Samadarshanam is not Samavartanam. Vartanam means his transaction will be according to dharma. So that is this sadhana, nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. In his heart, doors are open for everybody. There is no vaira bhava to anybody. Yassamameti pandava. That person attains me. One meaning we had seen was, that person sees the world as I see it. Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, one who practices these 5 things, he doesn't see this world as a jiva. When you see this world as a jiva, all limitations only show up. But seeing the world from Bhagavan's eyes, something divine opens up in the same world that we are seeing. In the same situations that we are placed in, some divinity opens up through that vision. Now, Arjuna is asking, Bhagwan evam satata yuktaye. In this way, those who are meditating upon you, bhaktaha tvam paryupasate. Upasana means sitting close. Upa means near, asana means to sit. So they have taken their minds closer to you, not for some time. Satata yuktaha. Always their mind is closer to you. Now, mind coming closer to Bhagwan is not some journey in space. In their mind is able to contemplate and reflect upon Bhagwan's glories. Remembrance of the Lord is more. He says that is their state of mind. Examples we had seen was Surdas ji, all saints of Bhakti Parampara. Compared to them, there is second category. Ye cha api aksharam avyaktam. Those who are meditating upon the truth without any name and form. Attributeless truth. Somebody like Gaudapadacharya ji. Tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Between these two people, who has understood you better? You know, one thing about this Nirguna and Saguna, it has come in several places, but you have to constantly remember they are not two different things. When we say Nirguna Brahma and Saguna Brahma, they are not two different Brahmans. What is essentially there is Nirguna Brahma. When it takes on attributes and conditionings, that same Nirguna Brahma gets a title of Saguna Brahma. Same Nirguna Brahma gets a title of Saguna. The difference is Saguna Brahma does lot of leelas, has so many attributes by which a devotee's mind gets pulled towards Saguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma doesn't do any leela. Nirguna Brahma says, if you want to leave everything, then come to me, you come. I am not going to pull. Guna, another meaning is rope. Another meaning of guna is rope. So Maharaji would say, Saguna Brahma puts ropes on his devotees so that we can hold and climb. Now, what are those ropes? He says rope is of Rupa. His form, his name, his leelas becomes easier for us to turn attention to Bhagavan. Nirguna Brahma, no attributes. Somebody like Nachiketa, who is willing to leave everything and come to seek this knowledge, Nirguna Brahma says, you come. So that is the difference. Arjuna is asking, who has understood you better? Now Bhagavan answers this. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha mayyaveshya mano ye mam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaha te me yuktatamamataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha mayyaveshya mano ye mam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaha te me yuktatamamataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Blessed Lord spoke. Arjuna, you asked between two people, right? Who was the first one? Saguna Bhakta, who is meditating upon you with attributes. Second one was the one who is meditating upon Nirguna, without attributes. He said, let us leave the Nirguna person for now. Let us come to Saguna. Mayyaveshya manaha ye mam. That person who is absorbing his mind in me. Avesha means you don't remain you anymore. For example, when Krodha Avesha happens, anger comes and takes over. that person doesn't remain that person anymore. If kama avesha happens, some desire comes and takes over, whatever that person's personality is, he doesn't remain that anymore. Like that, this is avesha of devotion. In a way that he doesn't remain himself anymore. Means he doesn't have the distinction between him and God. Avesha means that. Mayi avesha manah yemam. Nitya yukta upasate. Does this avesha happen once in a while? He says, no, he is always connected with Bhagavan. Always his mind is one with the Lord. In Upadesha Sara, Ramana Maharshi said, Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavana bida pavanimata. Meditating upon the Lord with distinction. I am different, Bhagavan is different. And meditating upon the Lord by erasing this distinction. That I am one with Bhagavan, I don't have an independent identity other than Bhagavan. He said that is more purifying. One is staying away from fire and heating the firewood. Second one is putting that firewood in the fire. So like that, Ahamkara staying away from Bhagavan and connecting with Bhagavan. Second one is Ahamkara dissolving itself in Bhagavan. The dissolution part is this avesha. That's why when we read stories of Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, Andal, it is that Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, when he did Arati of Mother Kali, he would do of himself also. That is the avesha part, where he doesn't see any distinction between himself and Divine Mother. When Bharatji meets Bhagwan Rama, we saw in Ramcharitmanas, Goswamiji said, Parama prema purana do bhai, mana buddhi chita ahamiti bisaraye. He said they met and there was so much of love between both of them. Bharatji's mind, intellect, chitta, memory, and ahankara, all four of them disappeared. Mind means which keeps thinking about different things. Intellect which decides. Samskaras of the past, chitta, memories of the past. And ego, all four were as though erased when Bharatji met Bhagavan. That is the avesha, where mind doesn't think of anything but the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam example is our Nanda Baba. When he tells the stories of Bhagavan Krishna to Uddhavji, when he's going to Gokul to see where did Bhagavan grow up. He says all these things are examples of avesha. In that whole night, whatever he says, it is that he is oblivious of the fact whether Uddhavji is sitting next to him or not. He's going on telling different leelas of Bhagavan. His mind is only in Bhagavan. That is this avesha, mayi avesha mano yemam nitya yukta upasate. Means if you search the mind of these devotees, we will not find world there. If you search the mind of these devotees, we will find Bhagavan. 14 places for Bhagavan Rama to stay. Goswamiji concluded with this understanding. He said, Bhagavan, if you search their mind, we will not find anything, we will find you there. Then he said, in what way do they worship? Shraddhaya paraya upetaha. Shraddha means with immense faith. With lot of Shraddha, they worship Bhagavan. The beauty of Shraddha is, even when we don't know a thing fully, we can still keep going further on that path. So with Bhagavan, it is not that we will know Bhagavan first and then love him. The beauty with God is we will first love and then come to know him. He says that is Shraddha, which is making him go forward even without having complete knowledge. And the point about Bhagavan is nobody can have complete knowledge. Tava tattvam na janami kidrushosi maheshwara. Yadrushosi mahadeva tadrushaya namo namaha. Shiva Mahimna, this verse comes. Bhagavan, the way you are, nobody knows. Even Brahmaji could not do your stuti. The way he will interfere in our life, this is only he knows how he does it. If we want something to be done in our life and we are praying to God, how he blesses that he only knows. This is Bhagavan, but one thing I know is I have Shraddha. In whatever way he has blessed, in whatever way we have understood Bhagavan, holding on to that, he is increasing his devotion to Bhagavan. Shraddhaya Paraya Upetaha. Another meaning of the Shraddhaya Paraya Upetaha is, see, sometimes we pray for so many things, or we might be doing certain sadhanas for different things. Even if he doesn't see the result right away, his devotion in God does not diminish. Even if he doesn't see result, Paraya Shraddhaya, supreme most faith is that where devotion continues in the same way, even if result has not come right away. In Narsim Mehtaji's life, if you read his life story, it's very inspiring actually. And many of these saints, their life was not perfect. Rather, it was far from perfect. So Narsim Mehtaji's family life was going through very difficult times. Most of the time, his mind was in the Lord. Most of the time, he was thinking about Bhagavan, composing different kirtans, bhajans of Bhagavan. So it came to such a point where he and his family, they were made to go away from the home. Along with his family, he had to go away. He was made to go away. And everybody else was coming and telling him, see, you are praying to God. What has happened? And that is where he gets very upset. Goes to a temple, sits there and does fasting for several days, meditating upon Bhagavan, singing different kirtans. And his bhakti was so powerful, Bhagavan gives him darshan. And he says, what do you want? Narsim Mehtaji asks, I want to get darshan of Rasa Leela. Whatever Rasa Leela had happened at that time, that Rasa Leela darshan I want. And Bhagavan says, he gives him that darshan, but devotee, he will never let go of. Whatever was needed, he provided. And one day, in this new place where he had to move, because he was made to go away from his home, he had to perform some Shraddha karma. And these saints, they were in their own world. So his wife tells him, there is no ghee inside. Go and get some ghee. And at that time, they had to invite few brahmanas for Shraddha karma to feed. First of all, they are going through such difficult times. Somebody played mischief and called several brahmanas home. They were supposed to invite 4 or 5. Somebody played mischief and called several brahmanas. He said, Narsim Mehtaji is home. There is a Shraddha karma today. All of you should come. And he was on his way where he meets somebody and he starts singing, composing some kirtan, some bhajan, completely forgetting he has to go to get this ghee. And it is said, Bhagwan sends people to his home. to make sure that everybody is fed and nothing falls short. So much so that by the time he finishes his kirtan, he wonders, I didn't get this ghee. What I had gone to get, totally forgotten. Then he gets it, goes home, go to see everything is done. Whatever he had to do, whatever had to be taken care of, was taken care of. The main point is, even when other people were telling, what is this devotion? Don't you see there is no result coming out of it? The one who continues wholeheartedly, in spite of not seeing the result right away, that is this person who has Shraddhaya Paraya Upetaha. Shraddhaya Paraya Upetaha, Teme Yuktatama Mataha. These are the people whom I consider have understood me very well. Yuktatamaha. Mataha means according to my opinion. See, Bhagavan did not say this. He is so following the rules. He said, I am not insisting anything. According to my view, this is what I think. Those who have understood me as supreme and they put their mind in me with extreme faith, they are the ones who have understood me best. Now, do you think Bhagavan has answered this question before, or this is the first time he is answering? In Bhagavad Gita, has he answered this before? Okay, look at the second line of this verse. Shraddhaya parayo petaha teme yuktatama mataha. Correct? Now flip your page to 6th chapter, 47th verse. Look at the last verse of 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Bhagavan already answered in 6th chapter. Those who are putting their mind in me, worshipping me with lot of faith. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. Those people I consider as those who know me very well. Teme yuktatama mataha. One Mahatma Ji, he writes in his commentary, see, even if our questions are answered, if that was not our question, the answer doesn't appeal to us. Arjuna already has gotten this answer in 6th chapter. But now in 12th chapter, that same question has become his question now. That between this Nirguna Bhakta and Saguna Bhakta, who has understood you better? Then again, Bhagavan has to explain 74 verses. Whatever he has said before, he'll present it in a different way. There is one very nice commentary by Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Jnaneshwari, where the uniqueness of that commentary is metaphors. If you like poetry, like metaphors, you are amazed. For 700 verses almost for every verse, he gives around 3 to 4 metaphors, different examples. So for this verse, he says, the faith of a devotee, bhakti of a devotee increases through bhakti. He quotes this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya. Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya means devotion is awakened through devotion. If somebody says, where should I start? He says, start wherever. If I am doing some chanting, let us say, he says, through that chanting, greater connection with Bhagavan will come. This desire to do more of sadhana will come through that sadhana. If I constantly keep waiting, that one day will come when I will suddenly do everything, he says that day will never come. Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya. And the example he gives is, how does this devotee's mind tune to the Lord? He says, just like when the sun sets, all sun rays are as though collected together it also sets with the sun. Like that, different thoughts of this devotee are all bundled together and they're directed to the Lord. Just envision that scene where the sun is setting, all sun rays are going away with the sun. Like that, Bhagwan is the sun. He is going, and all his thoughts are going with the Lord. Second, he says, just like when there is rain in rainy season, a river swells up. How this river swells up? Like that, devotion in a devotee's heart swells up with his devotion. That word he uses for aveshya. He says aveshya means not some ordinary thing. It's a great accomplishment of several years of punya karma and his sadhana that he is doing right now. Otherwise, aveshya does not happen, he says. Third verse, you can leave it for now. We will come back. Now, Bhagavan says, okay, I spoke about Saguna Bhakta, right? The one who is worshipping me with form. What is his greatness? I spoke about. He has extreme faith. Endowed with that, he worships. Now, natural question Arjuna would ask is, what about Nirguna Bhakta? He has not understood you well. Or just for the sake of question, if you ask, who is better? Saguna Bhakta or Nirguna Bhakta? What did you say? Saguna Bhakta is better. What about Nirguna Bhakta? He is not good. Bhagavan says, in Nirguna Bhakta, the one who is asking the question of who is good, he said that questioner itself is not there. You are thinking it's a race between two, Saguna Bhakta and Nirguna Bhakta. But really speaking, Nirguna Bhakta has opted out of that race. So who remains? Only Saguna Bhakta. So who will win? He says only Saguna Bhakta. That's a very subtle way of putting it. Bhagavan says, Nirguna Bhakta attains me. Means there is no Ahamkara remaining to even say who is better or who is inferior. Of course, inferior word he doesn't use. Amongst these two, who is better? He said this question is not even there in the case of Nirguna Bhakta because he has negated the whole world. Other than Brahma, there is nothing else. So where is the question of any kind of comparison? But Bhagavan says, before we go into what a Nirguna Bhakta does, what he meditates upon, he says we should pay attention to what are the qualifications needed for Nirguna Bhakti. 12th chapter, very brief discussion is there on Nirguna. But Bhagavan, in a very subtle way, very precise way, indicates what are the qualifications needed for Nirguna Bhakta. So fourth verse is qualification. Third verse is indicators of Nirguna. So what should come first, qualification or the indication? Qualification. Right? So that's why we are reading fourth verse first. Sanniyamyendriya gramam. Sanniyamyendriya gramam. Sarvatra samabuddhayah. Sarvatra samabuddhayah. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Sarvabhutahite rataha. Sarvabhutahite rataha. Sanniyamyendriya gramam. Sarvatra samabuddhayah. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Sarvabhutahite rataha. Three qualities are mentioned for the one who wants to walk on the path of Nirguna. First quality is his transactional life should be very well moderated. Moderating sense organ means moderating our vyavahara. The way we take inputs from the world and the way we respond to the world, there should be very strong discipline in both these things. That's why India Gramam word is used. Gramam means the whole village of sense organs, which includes Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. But it's not paying attention to these sense organs as a technical subject. What these sense organs do is they regulate our transactions. What we hear, what we see, where we go, and how we respond to the world. Speech, everything is included in transactions. So this person transaction is very well regulated. When Bhagavan Rama and Lakshmanji come for the first time in Janak Maharaj's court, Janak Maharaj tells Vishwamitra Rishi, Sahaja Biraga Rupa Manamora, Thakita Hota Jimi Chanda Chakora. He says, my mind, it has Vairagya as its essential nature. Sahaja Biraga. Sahaja means effortless. That is the nature of my mind as far as Vairagya is concerned. Means his confidence is so much, he says, it will never go towards Vishayas. If at all my mind is going towards these two boys, they have to be Brahma. This is the epitome of Sanniyamendriya Grama, control over sense organs. When Bhagavan Rama asks Lakshmanji to identify the ornaments of Sitaji, that verse is very popular. Naham janami keyure. Naham janami kundale. Keyure means what is worn on the arm. Kundala means earring. Nupuram eva abhijanami. He says, I cannot recognize the armlet of Sitaji. I cannot recognize the earring of Sitaji. But I can recognize her anklets. Why is that? Nityam padhabi vandanat. Every day I would bow down at her feet. That is all I know. That is the meaning of Sanniyam Mendriya Gramam. He is so alert, his buddhi doesn't go anywhere in Vishayas. At the same time, there is no Nirodha of Vritti. Indriya Gramam, he is not shutting his eyes, shutting his ears. That is the importance of the word Niyama. Niyama means well regulated. See, at every sense organ level, we will realize both extremes are easy to practice. Completely letting them be the way they want, what sadhana is there in that? Very easy. Or completely shutting it down. That is another extreme. Speech, for example, not to put any regulation on speech. That is one extreme. Not to speak at all is another extreme. So what is difficult is the niyamanam part. So all sense organs, he is very well regulated. Second one is sarvatra samabuddhaya. Samabuddhi means in different pair of opposites, different experiences that are coming his way, he doesn't label things as good and bad. This in other places is called as titiksha. Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Geeta, he will call this as dhira purusha lakshana. Different pairs of opposites. He doesn't get carried away too much by any of them. That is this quality of sarvatra samabuddhaya. Greatest example you will find of those devotees, in spite of having so many things being done to them, still they were equanimous with that person who did everything. And the best example is Yudhishthir Maharaj. Whole Mahabharata war happened because of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. But he said after the war, he kept both of them in his palace, and every day he would go to do pranam. And finally, when Vidurji comes and takes both of them away, he's so disturbed. Yudhishthir Maharaj, thinking that did I not do my duty well? Then Naradji comes and says, the one who is guiding everybody in this universe is Bhagavan. They are very well taken care of. Don't interfere in their journey. But the point is, Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. In all places and at all times, he doesn't label anything as good or bad. Not that he is not seeing it. He is seeing everything, but in his own eyes, he doesn't have strong labels. Ramakrishna Paramhamsi would narrate one story for this point, Sarvatra Samabuddhi. He said there was a weaver who was a great devotee of God, very pious person. Whoever came to his shop, his way of telling the price was, by the grace of Rama, the price is such and such. By the grace of Rama, my labor is such and such, my profit is such and such. So you tell everybody what is his cost, what is his labor, what is his profit. And one day some robbers come, not to rob him. They take him so that he can lift whatever they have robbed. Somewhere they have robbed something, they ask him to go and lift it. And he's lifting and coming. By the time he is coming, the cops, they come to know. And these thieves, they run away and he is left with that bundle. So he's taken to the court. And by that time, everybody comes to know that he has been taken to the court. And he was such a pious person, had love and affection of everybody. So they convince the judge he is not, the one who has made any mistake. But even when the judge is asking, every answer he starts in this way. By the grace of God, by the grace of Rama, I went there. By the grace of Rama, they asked me to lift that thing. By the grace of Rama, I was standing. By the grace of Rama, cops brought me here. And the judge understands he is not the person who has done it. He releases him. Then when he comes back, same thing he repeats. People ask him what happened. He says, by the grace of Rama, I got caught. By the grace of Rama, I got released. So he would say that is the mindset of a devotee, not labeling anything as good or bad. And suddenly we realize it gives a lot of inner freedom. That we have labels of certain things, that these places are not good, these places are not. Not to say that we have to go in every place, but internally he doesn't have those strong labels. Sarvatra Samabuddhaya. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Those people who have these qualities, they are meditating upon Nirguna. Bhagavan doesn't call them as Yukta Tamaha. He says they have become one with me. Their own individual Ahamkara is completely erased. Te prapnuvanti mameva. Third quality, he says, do they engage in this world or not? Nirguna Bhaktas. Of course they engage. In what way? Sarva bhuta hite rataha. Their mindset is always about thinking good of others. Sarva bhuta hita. Hita means well-being. Sarva bhuta means of everybody. So they live their life thinking about the well-being of others. This is such a great quality where it is said, the moment we start thinking about others, our problems become small. Whatever might be our concerns, they start becoming small. And it invokes a new sense of contentment and fulfillment inside. That is the beauty of Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. The Puranic example for this one is Raja Ranti Deva. Ranti Deva. In his kingdom, there was a famine. And first he opens up the granaries, the royal granaries which were there, that he opens up for everybody. But things were very bad. In a few days, everything is empty. Then finally, he starts giving away whatever he has to people. Then what remains is just one plate of food, which was kept for him. They say, we need the king to be alive. We need the king to be healthy so that he can take decisions for everybody. Right at that time, one Brahmana comes. He says, I've been hungry for a long time. So he gives away food also. Finally, one water glass is there. That was the last thing remaining. That also somebody comes and takes. When he does that kind of tyaga, Bhagwan is pleased with him. He comes and asks, what do you want? And Ranti Deva's request is, Bhagwan, may I sit in everybody's heart and keep taking their sorrows. He said, you are there as Sakshi, but you are Tatastha. You don't get involved in joy and sorrow. May I sit in everybody's heart in such a way that I should take everybody's dukkham. That is my prayer. He says, that is the person who has such a feeling, thinking about well-being of others. He'll be fit for studying Vedanta. See, sometimes we have a different notion, right? Vedanta means withdrawn lifestyle. You see, the withdrawal is pointed in the first qualification. What is the withdrawal? Disciplining sense organs, disciplining our interactions. Engagement is pointed out in the third one. Whenever he is involved in the world, what is his mindset? Sarva bhuta hite ratha. And his buddhi, his conviction is the second qualification. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. Looks upon whole world in a very equanimous way. Most importantly, whatever experiences are coming, that he looks at it in a samabuddhi. This te prapnuvanti mameva is a very interesting promise of Bhagwan. Whenever you see the chapter of devotion, Bhagwan says they will get knowledge. Whoever seeks the Lord, they will get knowledge of Advaita Vedanta. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. 10th chapter he said that. Those who are my devotees, I give them buddhi yoga. And those who are seeking Brahma, those who are seeking Nirguna, he says, te prapnuvanti mameva. They attain God. Those who are seeking God, they attain Brahma. Those who are seeking Brahma, they attain Bhagavan. I mean, these are not two different things. It is one thing looked at it in two different ways. One with conditioning, one without conditioning. We know Bhagavan with conditioning first. It will lead us to his essential nature, which is without conditioning. If we seek that truth which is without conditioning, we will come to understand that same truth has become all these conditionings. That is the beauty of both these paths. Now comes the verse of Nirguna Brahma, third verse. What are the indicators of Nirguna Brahma? Ye tvaksharama nirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutasthamachalam dhruvam. Ye tvaksharama nirdeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarvatra gamachintyam cha kutasthamachalam dhruvam. Ye tu aksharam. The first indicator of that truth is akshara. Kshara means that which perishes, that which modifies and perishes. Akshara means that which doesn't undergo any modification. Because it doesn't have any attributes, modifications can come only in attributes. This is attributeless, therefore it is Akshara. Puja Gurudev used to do this Akshara Abhyasa. Small children, to initiate them into letters. In one card he wrote, may this Akshara lead you to that Akshara. When this Akshara of letters that I'm initiating you into should finally lead us to this Akshara, which is our own essential nature. That which never perishes, that which doesn't change. Aksharam anirdeshyam. Anirdesha means which cannot be indicated. Nirdesha means indicate. Anirdesha means you cannot indicate it through words. You cannot indicate it as an object. In Vedanta, everything is counted. They don't leave anything vague. They say there are only 5 things that can be indicated through words. If you are using word to indicate something, it will be indicated through one of these 5 things. Some are trying to recollect. What are those 5 things? First one is attribute, guna. You can indicate color, you can indicate form, you can indicate measurement. This is this much tall, short. All of that is guna. Attribute can be indicated using words. Second is jati, species. Second one is jati. Means you can say, this is a cow. Now, cow might have a name, Kamadhenu. But when you say cow, it belongs to the species of cow. So, Brahma, you cannot indicate it as guna because it doesn't have any guna, no attributes. You cannot indicate it as jati also. Why? Because to create a jati, you should have at least 2 things. Only when you have 2 cows, 2 or more cows, you can say this is jati of cow. If only 1 cow is there, you cannot call it jati of cow. Like that, there are no 2 Brahma, 2 consciousnesses. That is why there is no jati also. Third way of indicating something is through their action. The moment I sit in a car, I am called a driver. I don't remain driver all the time. When I'm doing a particular action, I'm called through that action. If I'm doing cooking, that person is bhandari. रसोई में जाए तो भंडारी, गर्भगृह में जाए तो पूजा गृह में जाए तो पुजारी. If he goes to puja griha, he is called as pujari because that action of puja. So through action, a person can be indicated. That is the third one. Consciousness, can you indicate through action? Because there is no action in Chaitanya. So third one is ruled out. Fourth way of indicating a thing is to sambandha. Relationship, where you can say, this one is such and such son, or he is so and so's father. Sambandha you can create and indicate. But consciousness doesn't have any sambandha. It is asanga. Here I'll give you a question to think about. Just now we said Drik Drishya Viveka. Looking at Drishya, you are meditating upon Drashta. Aren't you creating sambandha there? Through thought, we are shifting attention to witness of thought. That's how we started, right? Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Druka Tadrishyam Draktumanasam. Drishyadhi Vrittya Sakshi Drugeva Natu Drishyate. This consciousness is Drashta, and the way to shift attention to consciousness is through thought. Sambandha has come or not between thought and consciousness? How did you indicate consciousness? Witness of thought. Think about it. Huh? Sambandha is the third one. Sambandha is the fourth one. Fifth one is Rudi. Rudi means there are few things. The moment you use the name, popularly it is known. You don't have to explain what it is. If you say Surya, now Surya is sun god. We don't think which Surya, which sun are you talking about? If you say Veda Vyasaji, now Veda Vyasaji we know is the one who divided the Vedas into 4 parts. We don't get confused. Which Veda Vyasa are you talking about? So that is called as Rudi Artha, popular meaning. It is said Brahma, you cannot indicate through popular meaning also. Because people don't understand it the way it is indicated in Shastra. So that which cannot be indicated by Shabda, which cannot be indicated by speech, that is called as Anirdeshyam. What can be indicated by speech? These 5 things. What are the 5? Guna, first jati. Jati, guna, kriya, sambandha, rudi. 5 things which are there that can be indicated through Shabda. See, that thing which cannot be indicated through words, so many texts are there. So much elaboration is there about that thing which cannot be elaborated through words. Anyway, we will not go into that discussion. Next indicator is avyaktam. Avyaktam means that which doesn't get known through any other means of knowledge, which doesn't become an object of any means of knowledge other than Upanishads, other than the negation part by which this truth is indicated. Other than that, it doesn't become an object of knowledge. Avyaktam means that doesn't present itself in front of sense organs or some logic, some inference. No other pramana can manifest this consciousness. That is called as avyaktam. How many are done? 3 indicators, right? Aksharam, Anirdeshyam, Avyaktam. Then the 4th one is Sarvatragam. Sarvatragam means, see, a simple way of saying, how will you translate Sarvatragam? That which is present everywhere. If you say that, what happens? What is the substratum right now? Space becomes a substratum. What is pervading in space? Consciousness. So consciousness becomes the supported and space becomes the substratum. Whereas Sarvatragam is to say, space is in consciousness. There is no place in this world where consciousness is not. This is a little finer meaning. Sarvatrakam generally we say all pervading, like space. But if you take space as real and then pervade consciousness in it, your substratum has become space. And what is supported has become consciousness. Rather, it's the other way around. Space appears in thought. Thought appears in consciousness. So Sarvatragam means there is no place where consciousness is not. Okay, that is Sarvatragam. Achintyam. Achintyam means it cannot be thought of by the mind. Only that thing which becomes an object of knowledge, that data which has come into the mind can think about those things. But consciousness is illuminator of mind. Therefore, it cannot be an object of mind. Sarvatragam achintyam. Kutastham achalam dhruvam. Next indicators are Kutastham. See, Kutastham is a very Beautiful word. Kuta, okay, not that kuta. Kuta means false. Kuta means false. When you say somebody is a false witness, the word given is Kuta Sakshi. Kuta Sakshi, whatever he is saying, but it is not true. Kuta means that. So Kuta word goes with Maya and the product of Maya, which is this whole universe. That which is false starts with Maya and is applicable for this whole universe. This substratum in which this false world appears, this false world lives, that substratum is called as Kutastha. Staha means abiding or placed in, that which is a support. Kuta means false, Maya. Where this Maya lives, that thing is called as Kutastha. Simpler meaning is also there. Kutastha also means unmoving. Kuta means like a mountain, that which is unmoving. How we say Chitrakut, that Kuta means a mountain which is unmoving. So here also Kutastha is that which is unmoving. The direct meaning is anvil. Like a blacksmith or a goldsmith, he will use that anvil. Several ornaments will come, change their names and forms and go. But that anvil will remain unchanged. Like that, this Chaitanya is Kutastha. Several creations come, several creations go. Names and forms come and go, thoughts come and go. But that Kutastha remains unchanged. Three meanings we saw. What are the first one? Kuta means false. Staha means placed in. That substratum where the false world is placed, that is Kutastha, Chaitanya. Second meaning is unmoving, like a mountain. Chitrakut, like that you have Kutastha, that which is situated or placed as a mountain. Third meaning is anvil. Just like anvil doesn't undergo any change, this Kutastha doesn't undergo any change. Remaining two also we will see in the next session. No rush to cover these. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.